can feel so much wanting and desire in you, such hunger.
Hunger.
Yes.
That's right. This impatient hunger. And I think this like desire to chase after it with all that I have.
Yes,
and, like,
yes.
Willingness to like just engage. Like I know I have I have to just expose myself to it.
Yes, yes.
So close.
That you have what it takes to engage, and you have this impatient hunger to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I was noticing after the meeting that we went to the other night, and you were sort of determined. We have to have a conversation. We have to, and there was this wonderful vitality in that. Like, this has to happen.
And again, like what we were talking about before, the impatience and the things sitting inside of me, it's like just churning.
Yeah, this thing in you churning.
Yeah.
And you see me as having influence, and you feel like you can have impact and influence, and you want that from me.
And also your life, just like the career of a therapist and the work you do is so meaningful and so impactful and helpful for so many people's lives, you know. And that's something that so many people don't have the ability to have in the world. Everybody inherently wants to do something good in their own legacy, especially if they're moving more and more towards death. But there's no space for them to do that. And it just feels so sad. Like just seeing my coworkers and myself sitting there like working with data and very impersonal things, and then craving for that liberty of just post-work and on the weekends to share some time with their loved ones. And then like people really taking their time out of their like limited amount of free time to do pro bono work, so that they can feel like they're doing something more for society than just themselves. Like people have that desire, just they don't have a space to do it. And it's like the system, the way it's set up, it like upsets me. But you know, not to get into those ideas, I just feel like so sad just like hearing it. It's like an overwhelming sense of like angst. It's like existential angst for myself, but also for other people, and wanting to change it.
Yeah, wanting to change it. An existential angst for yourself and other people. The hunger, the desire, and the thwartedness, you know, the stuff in the way that makes you so angry.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah. There's just a lot of fear in this world, and I feel like maybe it's a battle of, I don't want to say it's a battle, but it's like how to bring more love and like how to teach people how to love and act out of love than fear. And I know I'm talking very abstractly right now.
You look at the camera like, oh, they're going to say, oh, Abby, that's too abstract. Abstractions are important too. This idea that you want to help bring love into the world, not just fear. And something about overcoming your own fear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Totally. And learning how to love.
And learning how to love.
Yeah, I think that's really like kind of the essence of being, and it's hard sometimes.
Yeah.
And
let's just be with that for a minute.
Okay.
How that is in your body. That's in focusing. We always, see how something feels.
Yeah.
In a kind of sensual way. That
right.
Wanting to learn to love, and that it's hard. It's hard to love. To not be so afraid.
Where I feel is like my chest is very overwhelmed with just emotions that I can't. It's just like, it's just like in my heart here is like this, is like wanting to love, but then also feeling like sadness enshrouding that. And it's almost like I have a sphere of love, like wanting to be radiated, but then there's a layer that kind of covers it up. I imagine it to be kind of like, I don't know, kind of like Dragon Ball Z or like Star Wars style, like where like light radiates and then there's just like a sphere and it's wanting to come out.
Yeah.
I feel that power, and I think there's, which part of like reason I really want to talk to you is I think like part of it's like the sphere that hinders it, it's resistance. And I this power could be so much larger and more powerful.
So you feel the power, this power of wanting to love.
Of love.
Of love, the power of love.
Of love.
And it comes to here, and then there's this sphere around it, this resistance. And
it just stops. And I think there's more to it. And there's something
that it should go further.
It should radiate, and it
should go out past that sphere.
It should be it's an osmosis. It should be like kind of like, imagine like a cloud. You're like a cloud, and you just spill over, and like everything you touched like is absorbed by it, and.
I love that.
It's just
everything you touch is
it's
absorbed.
A mist, you know,
a mist.
And everything that comes in touch with it can take some of that in and make it their own. It's like the air they breathe, because it's air, right? And you breathe in that love, and when they breathe it in, part of them transforms, and it just becomes.
Let me just go and close this door. Can you close this door for me? Thank you. That interruption came right when you were in touch with this.
No worries. Yeah.
You can go right back there to what you were feeling.
Like I want myself to be that center. And I want to cultivate that in myself. But I think I also feel there's a lot of hindrances that prevents myself from doing it. And
you want to be able to cultivate it, that air of love. And you feel these hindrances. Maybe we could see for a minute what the hindrances feel like right now.
It's suffocating. Yeah, like I can't breathe. Like in my stomach, it's like stress, tension, and my throat closing up, my chest tight, pressure, and in the back of my head, it's just like a sense of stress, and it's like compressing me. It's a compressor. It doesn't give me room to be.
It's compressing you when you want to radiate out, and this is compressing you. And your chest and back of your head, this tension.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's this compressor is a fear?
You know, I think it's like a battle, you know, battle between like the inner and the outer, and I think part of it is just maybe like being afraid, like intellectualizing it, I'm thinking like it's afraid of being vulnerable.
That's what the intellectual says. That you're afraid. The compressor is afraid of being vulnerable. But
Yeah.
then there's something else.
I don't know, my stomach feels something. I don't know what it is. It's like a battle of ego.
A
Right.
battle of ego.
It's ego. It's ego getting in the way. It's like, yeah, it's wanting to express a lot of heart, but then like somehow having like frustration, judgment, and anger instead. And it's this like almost like it's kind of like a little child, like battling back and forth and like projecting all these stories, and like it's small. It's a child. It stays small. But
the child is battling.
yeah.
And the child
Yeah.
doesn't want to have judgment, or the child is in
The
battle.
The child is having the judgment.
Having the judgment.
The child's like, why? I can't believe you just did that. Like, or like, or like the child kind of like wanting to, I don't know, like maybe just, yeah, like the child, it's kind of like, oh, I want to play with you, but I also, like, I'm afraid to play with you because, yeah, it's also just like the, I don't know how to put it into words right now.
Oh, you were doing a good job. Let me say that back. The child is having a lot of judgments and fear and anger. And the child is saying, I want to play with you, but I don't want to play with you. There's a tug of war there.
Mm-hmm.
A part that wants to come out and play, and a part that's judging you, saying, oh, you shouldn't have said that, or that wasn't the right thing to say, or
yeah, I think it's like maybe the child, I'm imagining like me as a child, like 6 years old on the playground, and then there's like someone I want to play with and like be in coexistence with, and like obviously wanting to play with them, but then also being hurt by certain things they do, and then like because of that hurt, I don't let myself to like express more love, so I feel constricted in expressing how I want to feel because it's like a defense mechanism of XYZ, and then therefore like as a result like wanting to label or kind of like create distance between me and that person, and so then like feeling sad inside because feeling like neglected and like maybe not valued, and then at the same time wanting, so like that kind of attachment of like desire and sadness is combined to one, and even though I want to express, like it holds me back from expressing that love.
There's a whole sequence there of the child wanting to play and getting hurt, and then after getting hurt, somebody, the one you want to play with, is hurting you or rejecting you or not being nice to you, then you're judging them and holding yourself back and angry and sad, and both wanting to express your care for the other person and not wanting to involve yourself with them because you're hurt. You're afraid of getting hurt again, maybe. And then you're in this place sort of all alone with the wanting and the desire and the sadness.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you hit on the nail.
Yeah.
It's like a self-inflicted cage. Caged. Suffocated.
Feeling caged and suffocated.
And not sure how to get out.
Yeah. Let's just see if we could have an image and see what would help there. Here's this little kid caged in the fear and the judgment and feeling alone and feeling such a wanting to connect, come out and play, and trapped in this place of isolation, in this cage.
I think it's stepping out of the cage, like on the playground, instead of like shutting myself in the cage. Imagine this cage being like, so think about it as a metal cube.
A metal cube.
It's a metal cube, but like jail-like, instead of like fully concealed. And you just simply just like flick it away, and you step out, and like this wall that stood between you and the other person, instead of resisting them, just like hold them, like go up and give them a huge hug.
Oh wow,
like
what an image.
Like being spacious rather than fighting.
Yes.
And like wanting to like show and give love, rather than creating the story of how they didn't give you love.
Yes.
And this is, and then like, I don't know why, but it just like is this feeling of like, wow, like I could do that for that one person, but then all of a sudden on the playground, like I'm just like doing that for everyone. Like
all of a sudden, you're
crazy.
giving everybody a big hug on this playground.
Yeah, it's just like, gosh, let's all just play and like be harmonious and like engage and like all this conflict. So much conflict, but then like all of it's unintentional. It's just miscommunication.
Yeah.
And it just makes me really sad too.
Yes. But this was exhilarating, right? This
image
of all these children that you could go up and give them a big hug.
Yeah, it's like I'm that cloud.
Yes.
And like, because I like connected with this one person, other people see that and they want to be in it too. And it's not even like, it's just like not even me doing anything, it's just me being. And
not you doing anything,
it's just my existence.
Being. Yes. And that all started with this flipping the cage, the cube away, and that you could do that. You could say, I'm getting rid of this cage. And then I'm going up to this person that hurt me.
Hurt me. Quotation mark. Because it's a projection in my mind, right? It's not really them. Yeah. It's like this victim pattern of thinking that I am a victim, perpetuating itself when it's not really the case sometimes.
So in this story, let's see if this is right though for the child.
Okay.
In this story, the person wasn't really mean to you, wasn't really rejecting, wasn't insensitive, but it was you making that up all by yourself.
It's like I'm kind of thinking back to like this one childhood instance.
Yes.
Of like, two things. It's with this one childhood friend, and we were on the playground, and like I accidentally like flicked sand, or like someone accidentally flicked sand. It might have been him, and I like got annoyed, so I like flicked sand back, and it started this fight. Or like another instance is like we were at a school event, and then they were hanging out with someone else, and then I felt rejected because they weren't hanging out with me. And then it's this feeling of like neglect that came from it, and then a sense of jealousy for the other person.
two different stories there, two different happenings. In one, you were hurt by the sand, but it was kind of an accident. And then you were sort of describing that before, how people get into these conflicts and don't know how to get out of them. And that it starts sort of by accident. It's not really the way it's meant to be or something.
Oh, that's so good. Wow, I'm so impressed. This is great. Yeah.
That was what you said, right?
You're reflecting back to me like, oh my gosh, it's tying the two together. I think it's exactly it. It's like not assuming positive intent and then creating a cycle of bad fighting.
Not assuming that they were really deeply wanting to hurt you, right?
Yeah.
And maybe that's what flipping the metal cube is saying, well, deeply they didn't want to hurt you.
Yeah.
And then the other instance was of feeling left out and feeling jealous.
Yeah. Feeling not good enough.
Feeling not good enough.
Like in despair of just being shut in your face, like a door shut in your face, that kind of feeling.
That's a horrible feeling. So awful to feel like you're eager and willing to connect and wanting to connect, and then this door is shut in your face.
Yeah, to be rejected is not a good feeling.
To be rejected is terrible.
And then it creates this compression. Like I feel like, damn, I'm just gonna hold it in and just remove emotions, and then
that's the compressor.
Yeah, act cool, but you're not really cool. You're just sad. Yeah. I think that's a huge part of it.
You're not cruel, you're sad. So you really got in touch with these two instances, these two ways that the compressor happens. And also, this wonderful image of being able to put it aside.
Yeah.
Go up and hug the other kid.
Yeah.
And
because they're suffering.
Yeah.
Or they just need some love. Maybe they're not suffering. But it's always good to add love then to create dysfunctional distance, I think. Yeah, I think the world needs more of that.
I think so.
Yeah.
Does this feel like a good place to stop?
I think so.
Good.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Wow. Okay. I'm going to take my thing off.